Hey everybody, Addie here of Old World New, sharing sustainable living tips and everyday lifestyle. So it is the second week in January and we are talking about being imperfectly sustainable. You cannot become sustainable overnight. You can't buy your way into being sustainable. It takes time, it takes education and knowledge, it takes trying things, it takes finding what works for you in your lifestyle so that you can sustain both yourself and then take care of the planet as well. We are going to dive into 7 ways that you can be imperfectly sustainable any time of year. It doesn't have to start in January. You can do this at any time. Let's get started. Number 1, use what you have until you can't use it anymore. Taking care of everything that you have right now is one of the best ways to avoid waste. This also ties into my second point, which is keep it regular degular. We're going with some Cardi slang right here. Keep it real, simple, and cute your own way. Sustainable means causing, the least amount of harm to the earth as possible. And that doesn't have one look. And one book that I think really encapsulates that, especially as a Black woman for me, is the Afro Minimalist Guide to Living with Less. If you follow Christine Platt on Instagram, her handle is @AfroMinimalist. You will see her version of minimalism, and it is beautiful and like just a piece of that diaspora infused into her living with less, and it feels welcoming and not untouchable or unattainable. Keep it regular. Whatever regular is for you, you can attain sustainable living while being yourself. That also means like you don't have to buy only sustainable things. This bed set right here is not sustainable at all, but I plan on keeping it my style. It is my style. I purchased it intentionally. It's something that I really love, so I plan to take care of it and use it for as long as possible. So this is regular to me, but what's sustainable about it is that I plan to use it for longer than probably, the manufacturers wanted you to use it for. Tip number 3, fix things. So many fast fashion, fast home decor, these things break, they tear up. If something breaks, that's not a sign to automatically throw it away. That's a sign that you need to figure out how to fix it or get some help fixing it. There are so many solutions to help fix things these days, such as I worked with Sugru. They are a moldable glue company. You can just like mold the glue and fix it. So the next time something that you own breaks, figure out a way to fix it. Tip number 4, we are all going to buy things. We need things to survive. But how much we buy is important. So taking stock of the amount of things that you bring into your home, either buy less or have a time where you don't buy nothing at all. You don't buy anything at all. So a buy nothing month. Sounds fun, right? We are so addicted to consuming in so many ways. We're shopping for the thing that we need, and right beside it is this random thing that looks really cool. But in your heart and in your smart brain that that thing probably will not last long. It's priced cheaply for a reason, and when you get it home and you get 2 or 3 uses out of it, it breaks. This also ties in with repairing things and keeping it regular degular. So yes, you can buy those things that aren't sustainable. I am not in a place where I can buy everything that's sustainable, so I will buy regular things, but taking the time to inspect them and make sure this is something that you really want, so maybe not buying it the first time you see it. It's not to say never buy any plastic, because we're keeping it regular degular. Remember, we're keeping it real, keeping it regular. We need these things to survive sometimes. Plastic is a normal part of our life, and even though we are trying to phase it out, we still use it. So no, points against anybody for doing that. But when it comes to like these things in the stores that are calling your name to buy them when you know you don't need them, when you know that they probably won't last long, just leave it there. Leave it there. Buy little to nothing that you don't need. All right? All right. Number 5, maybe my favorite, is to use things over and over and over and over. So that goes with, buying things that will hold up and stand the test of time, but also reusing things in ways that you didn't before. envisioning new ways to use things. This is an important part of being imperfectly sustainable. Many of us have seen reuse like this over and over. Like as a child, my hair barrettes were kept in a cookie tin, and you know, the butter container always had black-eyed peas or greens in it. It's normal. It's nothing new, and that legacy has lived on easily with us in my family. You know, it's not beautiful, you know, and it doesn't have to be, but it's useful, and it lessens the amount of waste that we bring in other ways. Who needs to buy Tupperware when you have all these brown butter jars that are empty, you know? Or all these yogurt jars. My granny's thing was butter, mine is yogurt. It might not be perfect, but it works and it's sustainable. So here we are, imperfectly sustainable still. Number 6, sustainability is a field that is booming and expanding, and our knowledge on it is like growing exponentially right now. The innovations that are being made, they keep occurring over and over. So one thing I want to encourage on this imperfect sustainable journey is to keep learning. Something that we thought may have worked 10 years ago may not work now. One of those examples is recycling. We throw items into the recycling bin hoping that they'll be made into something new and not taken to the landfill, but that's just not the truth. A lot more items end up in the landfill than they do recycled and repurposed from those materials, the plastic and the cardboard materials. And not to say that it doesn't work, but that is a very imperfect system that we should not be relying on, because there are too many instances when things aren't remade and renewed. And even when they are, like clothes made from plastic bottles, they leach more plastic into the water system. So it's a very imperfect system. So we need to keep learning, keep paying attention to innovations, and not just rely on one thing that we thought was sustainable to get us through, because that's not going to work. We're going to keep learning and keep seeing how maybe this will work and that won't work. So we have to let go of the old and bring in the new. It's going to be changing all the time, y'all. It's imperfect. So much of it is new. But learning continually is what's going to help us, you know, take better care of the earth, take better care of ourselves. So continue to learn on your journey. Last but not least, a little bit of effort is better than none at all. The little things that we do matter. They eventually become bigger things. They become things that other people see and emulate. They become things that people spark conversations about. Don't ever let anyone dissuade you from continuing to make small changes, because everyone probably thought, oh, just, you know, a straw, it doesn't matter. But the straw movement was big. Granted, it was flawed in some ways because people with differing abilities need plastic straws, and you know, it brought up some issues when restaurants tried to ban them overall. It was a mighty movement. That movement sparked a lot of change. It made a lot of people think. It might have made some people mad, but it made, you know, it put them on alert for sustainable changes that are, you know, happening. If a straw is what can make you start to notice it, okay. If all these millennials and, you know, Gen Z and everybody else talking about a straw is what got you into thinking about sustainability, it did its job. It did what it was supposed to do. It gave what it was supposed to give. Okay? Continue to be imperfectly sustainable, y'all. Making sustainable changes where we can, when we can. Championing small steps over no effort or 100% effort will help you lead a sustainable life. Meaning you can sustain yourself because you're not seeking perfection, which is impossible to achieve. And you can continue to sustain the earth. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. Check out the blog and sign up for the newsletter for more in-depth conversations about perfectionism and how we aren't going for it this year in 2022 or any year further when we're trying to live a sustainable life. Stay true to yourself, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.